Coming up on Arirang News, South Korea's baseball stadiums open back up to the public this weekend, though at limited capacity and with some rules in place. Football matches will follow suit less than a week later. The United States announces an anti-dumping duty on certain PET plastic products from Korea. American companies had complained that Korean firms were competing unfairly. And this year's first major tech trade show in Korea showcases technologies for home entertainment and the home office that have been taking off in the pandemic. It's 5 p.m. here in Seoul. Thank you for tuning in to Arirang News. I'm Devin Whiting. Starting this Sunday, baseball fans in South Korea will finally be able to watch games in person. 2 months into the season now, Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun said on Friday that the restrictions will be lifted. The details aren't out yet, but it's expected that the stadiums will only be at 10% of capacity. The Korea Baseball Organization says it's already sent out virus prevention guidelines, and the teams have tested some of those measures. South Korea has approved the antiviral drug remdesivir for general ongoing import, having approved it last month, but only as an emergency measure. In announcing the decision Friday, the Drug Safety Ministry said there's a need for continuous supplies of remdesivir, which is made by the U.S.-based company Gilead Sciences. Preliminary reports have shown remdesivir can shorten the recovery time for severe cases of COVID-19 by 30%. Also today, the ministry approved 6 additional brands of test kits that can confirm coronavirus infections within an hour. These will be used for emergency cases when patients might need immediate surgery. Russia's ambassador to North Korea says a summit between the leaders of North Korea and the U.S. is unlikely to take place before the U.S. presidential election in November. In an interview Wednesday, Ambassador Alexander Matsugora said the top officials in the North's ruling party will not agree to leader Kim Jong-un going abroad until the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. He warned that North Korea could still make threatening moves before the election if the U.S. tries to impose new sanctions. Heavy rain Thursday night in the southeast of the country caused flash flooding in the cities of Busan and Ulsan, leading to the deaths of 3 people. They were trapped inside a flooded underpass. In Ulsan, one person who went missing was found dead this morning. Jang Tae-hyun has the details.
The city of Busan saw heavy flooding after 80 millimeters per hour of heavy rain fell on Thursday night. 3 people died after they were trapped in a flooded underpass. Firefighters rescued 8 people who were trapped in cars in the underpass, but 2 of those people, a male in his 60s and a female in her 30s, died during treatment. And when the underpass was drained at 3 a.m. on Friday, a male in his 50s was found dead. The heavy rain in Busan also caused landslides and caused the wall to collapse, and people had to be rescued from a hotel garage and the basement of a nursing home. In total, 79 people were rescued from flooded homes and underpasses, and more than 50 people needed temporary accommodation. The rain also flooded over 140 cars and caused parts of the train and subway systems to stop running. In the nearby city of Ulsan, 2 cars were swept away by floodwater on Thursday night. 1 person in the cars went missing and was found dead on Friday morning. 48 cases of damage were reported to the Ulsan Fire Department, and more cases are to come. Jang Tae-hyun, Arirang News.
The U.S. Commerce Department has decided to impose an anti-dumping duty of up to 52% on South Korean PET plastic in the form of sheets, which are widely used for packaging. According to the Korea International Trade Association, the duty will affect 13 South Korean producers, including SK Chemicals. The U.S. had started an investigation last July based on a complaint filed by American producers with the International Trade Center. South Korea is the United States' second biggest source of PET plastic sheet. The Seoul City Government and the Seoul Design Foundation are teaming up to support small design companies struggling because of the pandemic. Hosting an open competition, they'll be giving out $1.7 million in prize money to 1,000 winners. For a chance to win, any individual or company with fewer than 4 employees can submit their design ideas for COVID-19 and the new normal. Judges will pick the winners based on the creativity of the designs and other factors. The winners will receive their prize in early September. Time now for an in-depth look at the market news on this Friday afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, Global Strategist at Uonta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for making time today.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Well, stocks on Wall Street were down overnight by quite a bit. Jobless claims in the U.S. are up, plus losses at the big tech companies. What's the story in the global markets?
Yes, as you said, Wall Street closed deeply in red on Thursday, with the S&P 500 snapping the four-day rally, mainly dragged by the tech sector as the unemployment data came in at weaker than expected. That outweighed the better than expected corporate earnings. On the macro side, the weekly jobless claims of U.S. came in at 1.416 million last week, surpassing the estimation and making the 18th week in which the claim totaled more than 1 million cases. Now, on the corporate side, the Microsoft shares fell despite the corporate earnings coming in better than expectations. So clearly right now, it seems that the sentiment is on the weaker side because of these news of the jobless claims and also the dispute between U.S. and China. If you look at the Shanghai Composite Index, it plunged by more than 3%, and the Shenzhen Index is down more than 5%, and that's because of the news that the Beijing today ordered the U.S. to close its consulate in the western city of Chengdu after U.S. ordering Houston consulate to close in 3 days period. The U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo have said that the U.S. will no longer tolerate Beijing's efforts to disrupt global order and the theft in regards to technologies and license and other issues. So clearly there's a dispute between U.S. and China happening that is resulting into massive correction of the global equity market at this point in time.
Well, here in Korea, the Kospi was down for a second day in a row. The Kosdaq down as well. Is that just coming off the decline in Wall Street, or what's happening here?
Yes, I think it's the same thing. The Kospi lost 0.71%. The Kosdaq was down also over 0.8%. Clearly, this news of the uncertainty happening between U.S. and China is affecting accordingly. If you look at the daily infection orders of U.S. and also in Korea, it continues to be quite high, and there's uncertainty in regards to the economic growth recovery in the third quarter. That is making people quite nervous, given the fact that the equity market has risen from its bottom to over 50%. And also, if you look at the Kosdaq market, it hit over 800 territories, which is over 60% recovery from its bottom. So strong recovery has occurred already, and people are concerned about the economic uncertainties at this point in time, and also the uncertainties added because of the dispute between U.S. and China.
Now, in terms of the currency, the Korean won for several days had been below the 1,200 level against the U.S. dollar. Today, it's back up above that level. What's your outlook for the Korean currency?
Yes, as you said, U.S. Korean won increased quite sharply by over 1%. Now it is hitting at 1202.5 won to dollar rate. Clearly, this uncertainty between U.S. and China affects the renminbi negatively, and renminbi depreciated as well. And that affects also Korean won, given the fact that the high relationship with Korea versus China. We think that the overall trend of the Korean won to U.S. dollar should remain anywhere between 1180 to 1220 bound range. Given the fact that there's still uncertainty of global economy, that Korea continues to be the biggest part of the GDP is also export related. And if the economic recovery is not happening as we hope for, then obviously that is negative news for the Korean currencies. But given the fact that Korea continues to be a trade surplus nation, and that the economic recovery should be coming in after the third quarter, Probably looking into year 2021, the overall trade surplus should be quite large, and that economic growth rate should recover. And if that's the case, then Korean won should appreciate further in the future. So all in all, right now, it is range bound because of the short-term uncertainty regarding the U.S. and China event right now.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, thanks so much for sharing your insights today. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Now, with people staying home because of the pandemic, there's been a boom in IT products for use at home. Things for entertainment, the home office, and exercise. To find out more, our Choi Jung-yoon went to the 10th Korea Smart Device Trade Show, the first major tech exhibition the country's hosted this year.
Dancing and singing your favorite songs. You can enjoy yourself all you want without leaving the house. As South Korea closed down coin-operated singing rooms due to COVID-19 outbreaks, one item that's grabbing people's attention is a home singing machine with the latest hit songs and a scoring function.
The singing microphone and the Juke 5 can be connected to homes and even cars, enabling people to sing anywhere at any time. And after the start of the pandemic, our sales jumped 5-fold.
With gyms closed and strict social distancing measures in place, many have looked for sports activities that can be enjoyed indoors. With its state-of-the-art motion sensor, the mobile golf simulator reads golfers' actions and allows them to play an actual 18-hole game. By attaching the sensor to the back of any club and connecting it to a smartphone, world-famous real golf courses like the Wolf Creek are brought to golfers' fingertips.
Fi golf is like a type of screen golf that the whole family or a group of friends can all play together. It's very popular among American, European, and Japanese users, bringing some $700,000 of crowdfunding.
The pandemic has also forced people to work from home. This has led to the launch of new smart devices, turning home into an efficient office environment.
For instance, this customized desk allows people to adjust the height so that they can work in different positions. Another special desk, the so-called Robodesk, provides a range of postures for users to work or relax in. For the most comfortable and healthy posture, an artificial intelligence angle adjustment system moves a monitor according to the position of the chair. Its massage function can relieve the stress of work or help users relax while watching a movie. COVID-19 might have hindered outdoor activities, but these new inventions are making it easier for people to stay home during the pandemic. Choi Jung-yoon, Arirang News.
The K-pop group Blackpink have become the female artists with the most YouTube subscribers in the world, surpassing other stars like Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift. According to the group's agency YG Entertainment, the number of subscribers to Blackpink's official channel surpassed 42.3 million as of Friday morning. They got about 5 million more in the month since the release of their song How You Like That, which has been breaking records and topping charts around the world. Blackpink are also now among YouTube's top 5 most subscribed to musicians in general, along with the likes of Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, and Eminem. South Korean researchers have developed a material that imitates the tensile strength and flexibility of spider webs. They say the material will have quite a few useful applications. Our Kim Do-yeon reports.
Scientists at Seoul National University have developed a new material based on the strengths of spider webs. Made of organogel surrounded by silicone rubber, their Ionic spiderweb is not only strong but elastic and self-cleaning. The scientists' research was published in July's edition of Science Robotics.
The spiderweb robots are composed of soft materials and can be stretched up to 3 times. The stretchability contributed to capture a target larger than the robot's body. After stretched, a target 68 times heavier than robots could be tightly captured.
The Ionic web uses electrostatic adhesion to capture objects, and as it stretches more, the power of adhesion gets stronger. The scientists made the web become sticky when an object comes near. In nature, spiders use sling force to clean their webs and keep them sticky. The web is also able to clean itself by vibrating to remove dust or other small particles. They look forward to applying the technology in real life. It could be used in artificial tissues and muscles or to enhance the capacities of heavy machinery. The researchers said that with further study, they'll be able to apply Ionic spiderwebs to existing machines and robots without the need for radical changes to the machine's designs. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
And that brings us to the end of this newscast. Thank you for watching. More live news coming your way at 7 p.m. Korea time.
With social distancing measures getting updated, people are slowly getting back to their everyday life. However, in order to minimize the risks of COVID-19 infection, we must get used to sitting